not bleeding yet, so we're good.
That's
You're just ripping your skin off with hot glue. Okay. Oh, I don't want to look. I do want to look. Let me see it.
he wants to see it.
I literally don't see anything. I think it's probably because the light is
The
bad.
terrible
Here, let me
lighting.
pull it off.
Oh, I see it now. There it is. Oh, God. I really feel bad. Like, I appreciate you
Oh,
putting
I haven't had a good injury for a while, so I was due.
Okay.
Putting your plane together.
Putting my plan together.
by the way.
That's, yeah. All right, we ready?
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RC Plane Lab podcast. I'm Ron.
I'm Tom.
So we've got Reggie and Dave back.
Yep. Dave's out finishing up your airplane that he started last time.
And he hurt himself pretty badly.
Yep. Just a few minutes ago, actually, and you cannot quit laughing at him.
Now, in my defense, I'm not laughing. You're laughing. I out of concern, I said, "Are you okay?" And I look over at you, and what are you doing? You were laughing.
I was laughing because what he was trying to glue together had fallen off.
That was before that. Nice try. No, but Dave, yeah. And you guys can talk. I mean, you don't just have to sit
Yeah,
there.
you guys.
I was offered multiple Band-Aids, and I appreciate that.
And you
Crystal
said no
is the
each time.
best.
She is. She's wonderful.
So, yeah, we have a bonus guest. Yeah, Dave is joining us along with Reggie. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Reggie sounds really, really, really excited to be here.
It's like we had to drag him in or something.
Yeah.
I mean, why? What's the matter? You're
In his
smiling,
defense,
but you're not talking.
he's fighting a cold or something. So
Yes, I'm trying not to cough in the mic here.
a little under the weather.
Oh, getting more
ready.
cough drops out.
Getting the cough drops ready.
Well, then let's get into it. Let's get through this so you can,
Yeah, so
not cough into the mic.
Go home
If,
and get
by the
some
way, if you
rest.
have to cough, look to your right.
I shall. I'll just
that's-
go straight this direction.
That's where Tommy is.
You notice the
sitting.
distance here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're smart.
Thanks,
you
Dave.
kind of
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
everybody on this side of the table is close together, and Dave's off by himself. Like
Yeah.
he knows what's going on. I don't know.
So a lot of commonality here in the table, I'm noticing. We have Reggie, and then the three guys that fix Reggie's airplanes are sitting here at the table.
At least two. At least two.
I don't fix him. I just take him off his hands when he crashes.
Oh,
them.
that's right. And then I
There
fix
you go.
them. That's right.
There. See, that's how that
That's
works.
how that works.
and then
There's
I
a sequence going on here.
then I keep him because if Reggie gets him back, then what's he do? He crashes them.
He
again.
flies them.
Oh, flies them. That's right. He flies. Why is there? Oh my gosh!
And
Come
in the
on,
circle
Reggie.
of life, they come back.
And then they come back to Dave. And then Dave repairs the repair that I repaired.
I think there's a few that have gone to Tommy to fix, back to Reggie, and then to Dave, so Tommy doesn't know that you crashed him again.
I don't remember all that. I don't think we've gotten that far yet.
Well, we'll
I
get
can
to the
remember.
list momentarily, and then we'll know. I think. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe we won't.
But no, so Reggie, thanks for coming back on. It's
Not a
been
problem.
a long time.
I've been waiting.
Have
Yeah.
you?
Yes,
well,
I
just
don't
say
wanna come
something
back.
to us. You
Well, yeah,
are
anytime you
always
want-
more than welcome.
Anytime
you.
any of you
Thank
guys
you very
want to be
much.
on, just let us know. Just like we tell all the rest of our listeners, if you want to be on the show, just contact us. We'll be happy to put you on the show.
Pretty easy.
Yeah,
deal.
It's very easy.
And you have our phone number, so all you got to do
I
is
do.
be like, hey.
Hey,
I have your
Let me-
address even.
well,
That sounded a little bit on the...
did
Stalker size.
a little. I'm a little concerned now.
I know where you live.
I know where you live.
We're all going, by the way, this is exciting. We're all going to Toledo.
Well, we think so. We think
Hoping.
Dave's going to be able to go now, which
Yeah,
I hope.
think.
I hope he can.
See? So
I've
that's...
got to clear my Sunday.
Yep. And Reggie has
Well, and we're
all but confirmed.
we're coming back on Saturday. So even if you don't clear your Sunday, you should be okay, right?
Yeah, we're going to come back
Sure.
Saturday afternoon or whatever.
I'll do a 12-hour shift on 2
Oh,
hours.
I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah,
Well,
didn't think of that.
If I can go, then I can drive. It's not a big deal.
it's no if you can go. You are going. You're
Oh,
going to
see,
find a way to make it go. So
Ron just said it. You're going, Reggie. Whether you want to or not now, you're
Sorry,
going.
I don't know how I
And you're gonna
misinterpreted
drive, by
that
the way.
in any kind of way.
I didn't say he was going to drive. He said he was going to drive. So
I would
But
drive
then
for
you
you.
said you're going, so
well,
by
yeah. You're driving
plus
for,
B
for you and
equals-
I, by the way, Tommy.
well, I know.
I'm going to be the one.
Well, yeah,
sleeping
because
at
electric
night
car
if it's
will
late.
only go like 200 miles or something. Then we'd have
It'll
to
go
stop for an
farther
hour.
than that, but
something
it's
like
just
that.
not going to carry as much as I want to buy. But
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that now.
I do, because Reggie's not bringing his semi.
Well, that's not.
He might
that's
not be.
That's a
a
possibility.
done deal. It's still a possibility.
Well,
But
if
me and Dave are not buying planes. Dave's going
that
to
you
probably have
know
his
of.
Why?
expedition.
Oh, that's the wrong attitude to go to the Toledo swap meet with, buddy.
I'm buying parts. That's what my ideas are.
Well, you should buy planes because they turn into parts later.
Right.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Crystal said to behave. I guess I
She
need
did.
Yeah.
to. Okay. I'm going to be nice now.
Okay.
That sounds like an edit.
Yeah, I think
No.
that's recorded, so you have to be nice now.
Mm-hmm.
It's recorded, so
that makes it true?
So now, if you're not nice, people can say, "Well, you said you were going to be nice, and now you're a liar because you're not nice."
Oh, I've been called that before.
Oh well, okay.
Wonder by whom.
So, like, are you guys as excited? I don't know if anybody is as excited to go to the swap meet as me, but are you guys excited to go?
I'm getting there. I mean, I think the day of when we're actually leaving, then I'll be excited.
Yeah.
I'll
Dave?
be more excited when we walk in. How about you?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Dave?
I'm just looking forward to a nice guys' weekend.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
right?
too.
If it's as big as you guys say it is, yeah, I would.
Well, I've
definitely.
never
I mean-
been. So
Yeah, I've never been to the Toledo. Dave's been to Toledo many times, back when it was weak
Back in the
signals
heyday.
and all that. But according to everything I've read on the internet, huge, like more than 350 tables. Like my brain can't comprehend.
yeah, like we were trying to figure the one we went to in Decatur.
Yeah.
We figured was probably what 3,000-ish square feet.
Yeah, roughly.
Like, would you think that was
fairly
That's-
close.
yeah, that's about-
okay? So this is supposed to be 75,000 square feet.
75,000.
This is a Walmart, basically.
This
Oh,
is
I never thought of it that way.
It's the Seagate Convention Center, so it's a huge. It's a convention center. I mean, it's big. It's designed to
For
hold
conventions.
conventions and stuff.
It's like a center designed to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This is gonna be good.
So yeah.
It's gonna be real good.
Yeah. And I didn't think the Decatur one was all that bad. I mean, I was really excited about that one.
yeah,
So if this one is
As
whatever times
much
as
better.
big as that one, math, I can't do it.
Well, 75
But anyway,
divided by-
yeah, I'm like really
25
excited.
times,
And,
by the way.
yeah. I'm really excited now that you guys are potentially going also.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So hotel then.
We need to talk to Bob, see if he's going.
Well, I thought Reggie did.
I have, and I don't think he's gonna go.
He
But
needs
I mean, you
to
can recall him.
come.
Bob,
Yeah.
if you're listening, we really want you to go.
Yeah. By the time this comes
If you
out,
can.
we should know for sure.
Yeah, that's
We'd
true.
have to.
That's true.
But you guys get in a hotel then? We probably ought to.
If I go in the truck, I'm probably gonna stay in the truck. But if we're rolling, I'm pretty sure
I'm
we'll
not
get a
sleeping
hotel.
in the expedition. I'm too old for that.
No kidding. I wouldn't want to do that.
For what it's worth, on Priceline, I got a really good deal on a room. I forget the name of the place, but it's about 3-ish miles away, something like that.
Yeah,
it's actually really close.
enough.
In the
And it
past,
was-
we've always stayed out in Mommy. There was a Super 8 in Mommy that was really reasonable.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Well, there you go. So
I don't even know where we. It doesn't matter. But the
It's
one we're staying
close-ish.
at's like 120 a night or something.
which was like
I know what you're talking about.
cheaper than the block of rooms that they have set aside for the convention or for the swap meet. So
If that was in the same building, I might have considered paying the extra. But we have to get into a car and go
you
park.
still
no matter
have to
what.
drive, yeah, no matter what.
So,
So,
3 blocks or 3 miles doesn't
Yeah.
make a big difference to me.
yeah, and the difference of $40 or $50 a night was worth it to me.
That's more
so.
airplanes.
Exactly. So
That's how I
more
think about
airplanes, or here, let me refer to Ron's list.
Oh
More
my gosh.
airplanes,
Are you
or wait, let me bring it up here. So here's Ron's list: hardware, screws, miscellaneous, which means anything, kits, ARFs, full airplanes, motor servos, ... anything I can find. That's your list, Ron.
Sounds like Ron's bringing back the building.
Yeah, I think Ron's gonna.
I have to watch
nuts.
what I don't have that much money. First off,
Well,
we'll
there's
see what
that.
we can afford to bring back, and then we'll see what space we have.
Well, I mean,
If the
if
semi
Reggie
there.
brings the semi,
But if he doesn't,
you've got a whole semi you're gonna have to fill.
we'll have to figure it out. No big deal. But Reggie's back. I'm so excited he's
Yep.
back talking to us.
Yeah.
He-
So Reggie brought
he
a
looked,
list.
He looks so excited, but he sounds so sad. I don't know why. Are you nervous? Or
No, no, I'm
Oh, he's
good.
not
I'm,
nervous.
I'm
He
actually
just-
enjoying this.
He's a little under the weather.
Oh, okay.
So he was kind enough to send us his list.
I love this concept, by the way.
I do too. It's a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
So when Dave was with us last time, he brought his number.
Try and be a little louder with those pieces of paper, would you?
Not a
please?
problem. I can do it.
Ron can just edit that out later. It's really easy to do.
Not how
I didn't know I was.
works. Oh, anyway.
So yeah, Dave brought his list, and it's shocking. Like when when you've been in the hobby for a while and you have a few airplanes under your belt, it's easy to lose track of how many you've actually have currently. And then when you start thinking about airplanes you've had over the years, it's like, boy, I've had a lot of airplanes.
Well, not for me yet. I tend to keep. Like, I am not good at getting rid of airplanes. Reggie, on the other hand, he gets rid of a lot. And I mean that in a nice way. Like, so, that came out badly. When we went to the Decatur swap meet, you bought a Telemaster.
I did.
He did.
You liked our Telemaster, so you ended up buying a smaller one, a 40 size. What happened to it?
Well, I got together, got everything sorted out, flew it, I think, twice. There was a young man there at the field the day I was flying it. And I know he just started, so I just decided to give it to him.
See, that's what he does a lot of.
He does.
There's a lot of, would you like this?
Yeah, we give Reggie a lot of flack, but he is quite generous, I have to admit.
Reggie's a good guy. He's fun to hang around, and he's a good sport, even though it might not come through very well in this. Knowing him in person is a little bit different.
Right.
So
Thank you.
we're not really roasting you as much as we're just having our normal conversations with you being very quiet this time.
Yeah. But anyway,
I mean, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just listening.
so Reggie was kind enough to bring his list, and it's I'll be honest, it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. Your list, that is, because Ron's over there laughing.
appreciate you pointing that
I
out.
don't know what we're...
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
And
decent.
it's a well-rounded list, actually. There's a lot of there's nitro planes on here. There's a big gasser on here,
Yay.
and there's electric balsa and foamies on here. I mean, it's a pretty good cross section of the hobby, honestly. You live in an apartment,
Yes.
and so what's shocking to me slightly is the number of airplanes that you are able to store and the amount of space you have.
You both have seen that room.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Packed.
It is.
It's not
but
just
you make it
that
work.
room. I think the last time I was over at your place, there was an airplane in the kitchen. There was an airplane in the living room.
Probably.
And if I remember right, there was one
wait
or
a minute.
two on your bed.
More than likely because of transferring from one room to
Going
the
from-
other, trying to make sure I'm not going to crush anything or break anything. I just set it off to the side until I got everything situated.
So when you say all-encompassing of your life, that is definitely, it's taken over. I mean, it's taken over your life.
I wouldn't say that far.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the room needs to be straightened out. And once you got so many in one spot, things are liable to get broke, and
Well,
they do.
When I say taken over, I mean like that's your main, that's the main thing you do for fun.
Pretty much, yes.
So that is absolutely your pastime.
That's my passion.
You're not much into sports, I don't think.
Not too much.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely am not. So our downtime, our recharge time is doing stuff with our airplanes.
Exactly. It's just relaxing. I mean, it's exhilarating and relaxing at the same time. Of course, it can be a pain in the sometimes, but
Definitely exhilarating. So I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
what
Hey,
I like to
listen,
do.
Ron, you mentioned airplanes in the kitchen and things like that. And I'm looking at your list here, Reggie. Now I know it's been a while since I've been to your place, but the last time I was at your place, you had an airplane that you were working on in the kitchen, and I don't see it on this list.
what plane was that?
A Great Plains Stearman, or maybe it was an Aeromaster, the red and white biplane.
I thought that was on the list.
I don't see it on here anywhere.
Are we missing airplanes?
Wow, did I actually miss that?
I think you may have missed at least one.
In the box, not ready to fly.
Mhm. This one should be pretty
I
close to ready to
did.
fly. Have you flown that one yet?
No, it's still being put together.
Oh, so it's
Well,
still
how-
in progress then. So so that begs the question: if you've missed that one, how many more have you not counted? Are you holding out on
I
us?
missed that was because it was in the living room while I was in the plane room counting.
So the
Okay.
3 on the bed didn't
Yeah.
get counted.
Did
the
you,
one.
did you
No,
count
there
the
was-
ones in the
there was
bedroom?
nothing
Did you
on the
count
bed.
the ones in the bathroom that you got stashed in the
There's
tub?
nothing in the bathroom.
Okay. How about in the Suburban? You got any stashed in the Suburban
No,
that you keep
there's
out
just
there
parts
kind of
and
permanent?
pieces probably still laying in there,
Okay.
but no, everything else is
Okay,
on
so
the
there's
list.
at
Parts
least
and pieces?
there's at least one that you've missed.
old parts and pieces.
Oh, okay.
So the number, the number that we're concerned with What's your number? Like the total number,
Well, I guess now 46.
at least.
46 plus what was missed.
Well, 45. He's got 45 on
I'm
the
up to
list.
45.
Well, but 46
And then-
plus, because you
Plus
figured that out, plus
yeah,
whatever
plus
else
whatever else you may have missed.
was missed.
So there's got to be some. There's got to be some more, maybe in the closets.
Freezer.
Maybe one stashed in the freezer, so
Yeah, I
Lisa
mean-
doesn't see it. What? I mean, this can't be all of them.
I can only think of two.
Two.
Oh, here's
Two
okay.
more.
Here we go. Does
And
this?
I don't know what they are. They're like little gliders. They're basic balsa gliders, but I don't know what they are. They're probably maybe 24-inch wingspan. Those were the two I told you, the kits. Last time I was on the show that I have never messed with. They're sitting in the closet.
So you didn't count? Okay.
I didn't count them.
So we're up
Gliders.
2 more.
Gliders. You got Dave's attention. He likes gliders.
Oh, they're 24-inch little gliders. I mean, they're not much of anything. I got them from a show. Guy just gave them to me.
Nice.
So when you have a lot of airplanes, people give you airplanes,
And then you forget you have
and
them.
then you forget you have them. I wish I had that problem.
I have one I always forget I have.
That one over there hanging
Yeah,
up on
because
the
it's
ceiling.
hanging over there and I don't ever look over there.
You'll be surprised how many times I've been out flying and actually had people see me flying and come over and ask me, do I want some airplanes they just want to get rid of?
Really?
I've got phone number at least 2 people that I can
Really?
call and see if they still have them.
And you
Well, that's
haven't done
because
that? Why?
No room.
What do you
Well,
mean no
here's the
room?
thing. I
have
you
no
have
room.
friends.
So it's all about exposure,
Mhm.
and Reggie flies in areas that exposes people to the hobby. See how that works? So that's a good thing. He
Thank
flies
you.
where he flies.
Thank you.
Is that good exposure?
Yeah,
or?
well, it's exposure.
Apparently, I
Apparently,
guess.
you know, it's good.
I've never had
exposure.
no bad slack yet.
Really?
Not that I knew about.
Well, I'm glad you quantified that because I'm pretty sure if somebody had crashed an airplane on the roof of my house, I might be slightly upset.
Wow. We went that far back.
That far back months.
It wasn't that far, right? A few months, I think.
Did you hear that story, Dave?
I believe I did. Yes.
Yeah. Reggie, what happened?
Well, he's told this story, I
Flying
think,
in my neighborhood, I had just rebuilt my Carbon Z Cub, and it's flying perfectly. But apparently, I did not have the elevator plug fully in, and during flight, it came undone, and
Oopsie.
I seen it because I was getting no altitude whatsoever, and I knew it was going to go down. So the best I could do was just kill power and hope for the best, and look for it for about a good 2 or 3 hours. Could not find it. It actually came up on the app of Nextdoor. There was a picture, and it said, "Did anybody lose an
Is
airplane?"
this yours?
Basically. So I got in contact with the guy and went there the next day, and sure enough, it was right there.
Where did it?
And-
Where did it land?
It hit a tree, dropped from the tree, landed on the roof, then fell into the backyard.
Oh my god!
Well,
so
that's not as bad as I was imagining. I was imagining that it, like, no kidding, crashed on
Just
the roof.
dived on
and
the
then,
roof, no.
Okay, so it hit the tree first. And,
Hit the tree
well, that's
first.
not, I mean, that's,
The scary part was I
Still
wasn't
not
worried about the
good, but-
plane so much. I was just worried about where it hit or what it might have hit.
yeah.
And of course, that carried a 6-cell battery in it. And it was a brand new battery.
That's a big battery.
And I asked the guy, I had got his phone number and I called him. And I asked him, okay, is the battery out of the plane? And he said, yes. He said it was laying on the ground. I said, what did it look like? Is it swollen up or anything? He said, well, it's almost bent in an L shape.
oh, jeez.
I said, get it out of the house. Whatever you do, take it out of the house.
Yeah, don't store that in your
He
garage.
put it in the garage.
Oh, he's lucky.
So that's where it was when
You're
you picked it
lucky.
up in
It
the
was in the
garage.
garage.
wow.
Oh, yeah, very, very. That's what ended my flying in my neighborhood.
So we've told this story
So
on
that's what ended the flying in the
That
neighborhood.
ended the flying.
Yeah.
in the
Not
neighborhood.
not the fact that your friends were saying, "Hey, this isn't a good idea."
Well, yeah, that had an effect too, because I knew I was going to have to hear about this later. So I thought about, you guys were right. Let me just follow your advice.
the. Hold on. Could you one more time, please? What?
You guys were right.
Nice. I don't hear that often enough.
Not often.
Well, see, we told that story on the podcast, but we left it as an anonymous
Yes,
story
we did.
because I didn't want to throw any name out with it. We've had some other
Oh,
crashes
yeah,
that
that's
were
right. I'm sorry. That's totally my fault for bringing that up. I'm sorry, Reggie.
it's all good.
I totally
Lesson
forgot that we
learned.
kept that we
Lesson
made that
learned.
anonymous. I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
Oops,
So we've
my bad.
had other crash stories we have heard that have not been Reggie.
Well, that's true.
That one happen to be
That was all Reggie.
happen to be already.
I'll own that. I will own that.
Well,
So-
I feel like any crash story where you can learn a lesson from is not a complete waste, and you learned a lesson. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Flying in the. Are you okay? Do we need to take a break for you to go clear your throat?
Nope.
Okay.
Gotta let it calm down.
Yeah, I love the fact that he came over here to record and is sick.
I am
mean,
not sick. It's
What?
just I got drainage going down the back of my throat, and this is what's got all this going.
Isn't that by definition sick? I mean,
Not really. Sinuses. It's not considered to be sick.
really?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
well, thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
All right. So back to the list. I'm looking at Reggie's list right now, and yeah, you've pretty much got everything represented. Well, you know what I don't see on here,
What's that?
and Dave hopefully will back me up on this. I don't see any World War I stuff on here.
No,
Why? What do you got against World War I stuff?
I have nothing with nothing at all. I mean,
Well, I don't
have
see a
anything.
camel. I don't see a strutter. I don't see a pup. I don't see a Eindecker. I don't see any. Well, like what gives?
I've just had no interest in anything World War One. I don't think.
See, I'm with you. Like, I like him, but I don't necessarily.
You have a Taub, which
Well-
is World War I ish.
See, to me, that's okay. World War One era. It's more beginning of flight era for me.
Well, okay.
So it's an old airplane, and I guess so. When you say World War One stuff, are you talking like actual?
I guess.
fought in World War One.
1914 to 1918.
Thank
But
you.
are you talking about those planes had to be military type aircraft, or just anything from that era?
Generally speaking, I'm talking about from that era. But
Anything prior to 1914 was considered pioneer
there we
era.
go. Okay.
So what was the top? When was that?
Taub would be
1914, 15.
yeah.
Okay,
It could be
so-
World War I era.
Okay.
See. So Reggie,
Yes,
you need to rectify that like immediately.
I have.
Immediately.
Because you've got, because I mean, you've got World War II covered. You've got pretty much all facets of civilian aviation covered.
Well, before we get into it too much, who wants to read the list? That way we can at least.
Oh, I'll
have-
read the list.
Okay.
All right. So here's Reggie's list. So I'll start with the ones that you have not done anything with yet, that they're
Okay.
still in the box. Hangar 9, we have a group of those. You have the F4 Corsair, excuse me, the P40 Warhawk. Those are both the 50 size. And then you have the F6F Hellcat, which is the one I want, in the 15cc size.
And that P40 is the one that you, Reggie, were one of the four of us that bought them.
Yep.
I recently got rid of mine, which
Reggie still has his.
upset. Tom. Well, yeah, but
and mine is flyable.
yours is.
But anyway,
yeah.
I digress.
I
All right,
did
so next we have Seagull. We have the Ultimate Biplane and a Cessna 152. Both of those good flying airplanes. You have a SIG Rascal 110, still new in the box. And then you have a Flex Innovations Vintique, which that's a pretty good flying airplane too. All right, so then we're moving on to not ready to fly. They require a little bit of assembly. Would you agree with that assessment? Okay.
Yes.
The Hangar 9 150 size P51, assembly required. Great Plains 60 size P51, assembly required. So that means you've started on them, but
Yes.
okay. FMS Corsair, the 1400 millimeter one. And now you have written next to that in parentheses, repairs. So that means you've flown it?
I've flown it. For some reason, it wanted to porpoise up quite a bit. And when it came in, it actually knocked off, I think, a retrack, if I remember right.
Okay.
I mean, everything was still there. It's a foamy,
Okay.
but it just needed to be glued back into place and try to figure out what was going on. I'm thinking it was something with the CG to cause it to porpoise like the way it was doing.
Sounds like a CG issue. Yep.
Or a servo that doesn't like to center. We've
Or
figured that one out
Might be
too.
possible.
All right. Next, we have a Phoenix Models Super Tucano. That says repairs. And I think that's the one
I know
Dave's
exactly
working
where that airplane's at.
on. Yep.
Yep.
Dave knows where that one's at. It's
Is that
at
one
Dave's
you've worked
house.
on, Tommy? Also,
I think I just tuned it. Like, I don't think I actually did anything with it.
We
right?
had that 60 size OS motor on that, 61 or whatever it was.
It had no, you had just put an AX on it, I think, when we tuned it up.
So
Yeah,
60,
in the
wasn't it?
garage over where
Yeah.
you work. Yeah, that was the AX.
But we couldn't, the CG was like way off. It was way nose heavy.
yeah.
So I ended up taking that off and putting a 46 on top of that.
Oh, okay. All right. So
It's-
that one is currently at Dave's hangar undergoing some repairs.
What
to the gear.
What
I take
happened to
it?
that one?
No, died in flight about 4 feet off the ground and just dropped like a sack. And it landed right up on the nose gear. But,
Retractable gear, right?
no, that was actually
It's
fixed.
retractable now.
Yep, we went retracts now.
He retracted them upon an early landing.
A forced retraction.
A forced retraction.
We've
There we go.
actually bought retracts for the plane, mechanical retracts.
Oh, so you're
Oh.
retrofitting it.
Yep. So the repairs are now being upgraded.
And by
Nice.
we, let's go to
Say
Dave.
Master
You mean
Dave,
Dave?
over here.
Yep.
He's
Dave is
How's that going, buddy?
is handling
Oh, I
it.
love mechanical retracts.
Well, you
So,
were.
yeah,
Go
Dave and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. Dave, would you explain the conundrum with this particular design?
This is the strangest setup I've seen for mechanical retracts. This wing is not a single piece wing, it's two halves. The retract servo for the main gear stays in the fuselage. So in order to take the wings off of it, you have to disconnect the linkages from the servo.
And I'm looking at Reggie, and it looks like he's hearing this for the first time.
it is.
I'm glad you have a Suburban because you're not going to want to take this one apart on a regular basis.
I never took it apart.
Because you're either going to have to disconnect the clevis from the retract, which is buried inside the wing, or you're going to have to take the stopper off the linkage in the fuselage and readjust that every time you take the wing on and off.
What a crappy design.
It's going to continue to stay as one piece in the Suburban the whole time.
And that goes for the nose gear as well?
And the nose gear is the same, although, that stays with the
That was
fuselage. but-
yeah. So what's the wingspan on that one? I don't remember.
64 and a half or 65 or something
It's
like that.
not a huge airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not
So
too
as a
bad.
one-piecer, yeah, with a Suburban, it shouldn't be.
It
Shouldn't be
actually
a big
fits in there
deal.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
Is it a pain to get in and out of the house or?
No,
Oh, okay.
actually not.
Yeah, he got it
grab
at
a
my
bag.
house in one piece.
Well, that's saying something because I've seen your house, and
My travel trailer is almost as big as my house.
there's a few tight corners you have to turn, almost as bad as making that turn to go into my basement. But anyway, all right. So that's the Tucano, and then unknown manufacturers. You have a 40 size high wing trainer that says assembly required. Okay, so you're in the middle of that one, and then a free wing B17. What size? That's a big one, right?
I can't remember if that was over 1800 millimeter or just below it.
So
I
that's
want to say like
40-ish
17,
something.
875.
40. Okay. It says you have repairs. What happened to this one?
Believe it or not, I had
Oh, I believe it.
bought that one
I was
brand new. And this
Hey,
is
you bought it brand new and you don't know who made it?
Well, he has so many.
that
it's
one. That
hard
was
to
a
keep
free
track.
wing. It's a free wing.
Oh, well, you have.
I was
you have
guessing.
unknown.
I couldn't remember it at first.
Oh, okay.
When I wrote this all down, and then eventually came back and
Okay.
thought it through.
Okay.
But it's a free wing. It was just like the one, if you guys remember, when Falcon first opened up, there was one hanging in there. It stayed in there for like 6 months.
Is this that one? Is it the one they had hanging up? Because I remember
This is
that
the second one.
Okay, so this one was a new one then.
The first one was the one that decided to make a few extra. I actually know it was me showing off
Uh-huh.
and ended up scaling a light pole over at one of the churches.
Yep.
Okay,
And
so
then
hold
lost
on,
it.
hold on.
Yeah, this
so
has been a while ago.
there
That's a long
is
time
ago.
there was two of the exact same airplane then.
Yes.
So Falcon Hobbies was the hobby shop, the most recent one we had here in Springfield
here in
that
town.
closed. So the one the B17 you remember.
It's the one that was hanging up at the store on Dirksen, right? Because they had one.
Probably.
Yeah, they had one hanging up
Probably.
like as you walk in. You know, they had if I remember correctly, they had the cases on the left. As soon as you walked in, they had like.
It was like their little display
Yeah.
of nostalgia.
Yeah,
You know, it
their
had all the
vintage
old stuff.
And then it kind of was above the counter from anyway. So that goes back a while. Okay, so this is number 2.
Number 2, I got the CG wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, it was tail heavy. So when it lifted off the ground, it pretty much just did a 90 degree and went straight up. And I already knew it was done.
So did you check it or?
I did not.
Oh, always check CG.
This was in the beginning of a lot of this, so I wasn't for sure about a lot of things.
Yeah, this was. So I remember because you were getting into the electric multi-engine stuff, like because you had a B25, I think you had a B24 also,
B25,
and then the
B24,
B17. Yeah, so this was all kind of
Way
got
back
into
when.
this like all in once, and yeah, I could see
The biggest thing was
excitement
I
in it.
thought most foamy planes, right out of the box, the CG was normally right on.
Yeah, you just put stuff where they tell you to put it, and it's perfect, right?
But
Wrong.
I thought wrong because I put the CG a little too far back.
Yeah.
Actually, it was way too far back.
And to be fair, they don't like these, like Free Wing. I can imagine the rest of them are all the same. They don't do a very good job of telling you in the manual where to put the CG, if they tell you at all. Sometimes I've come across that a few times myself.
Well, I found when I looked these planes up, like on YouTube, go through the threads
The
and what everybody's
comments.
talking about, and you generally figure out if everybody's pretty close to this gray area, that's about where you stay at.
It's a good
And,
place to start, at least.
It works out pretty good now.
Yeah.
So
So the first one, though, ended up in a light pole.
no, it missed the light pole. It just
missed the light
I
pole.
walked it all the way over to a church roof, and that's where its demise met.
Oh, so you
Basically, I flew straight up a light pole, and then everything from that point on was just trying to save the plane. And
What do you mean straight up a light? I don't.
As in, I came across the parking lot at a low altitude, not realizing I was standing directly in front of a light pole.
So it was
And
behind you.
It was behind me.
So you
It
flew behind
toward
you.
me
He missed the light pole.
and didn't realize that the light pole was directly off to the back left side of me. So when I was going to go by myself with the plane, I saw the light pole and pulled straight back on the sticks, and it went straight up. And at that point, it lost all momentum, and it was flying on all four motors, just trying to pull it upright and trying to stall, trying to save it, trying to stall, trying
So
to
you
save it.
fought it. You fought it
I
all
fought
the
it
way
all
to
the
the
way over
church
to a
roof.
church roof before it was just not going to save itself no more.
What have we said about not flying? Like,
Well, a few times.
Yeah, you have to
So, so
Do you
this
still fly
one,
there,
this
by
one
the
is
way?
the second
Excuse me?
one.
do you still fly there? By the way,
That church? Yes, I do.
Oh, listen, not
I am now more
Bob
well
both do.
aware of my surroundings versus showing off, and I make sure I stay from over the buildings, from over the highway, from over the power lines, over any cars. If there's anybody there, we try to fly around the back of the
Do
building,
they-
over the field.
Do the people who run or own or operate the church, do they know you guys fly?
Yes, that was the first thing I did was ask permission to
So
make
they're
sure we're
okay
all
with
good.
Oh, so you're okay. That's a lot better then.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's at least
Yes.
an okay.
I agree. And they only fly electrics out there, small electrics. Bob flies there too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
only electrics though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the second B17, and it also needs repairs now. Okay, so moving on.
How bad is that? Like, is that an easy fix on that one?
Yeah, actually, I've just reacquired the props for it, and I think the only other damage was it still needs the nose cone or the glass nose for it, or plastic nose, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But everything else has been fixed. I'm waiting to try to fly it and see what it's going to do.
Hopefully, better than the first time.
I would hope so. If not, I might have some more spare parts.
So next on the list, you've got a 45 written by it because this is after 13, and you clearly remembered this one after you made your list. It's like, oh yeah, forgot about this one. The P39, which I know the story on this one. Will you be able to repair that one, or do you think it's
It's
I
going
know
to be
you
a
still
fuse
have it, but-
and a wing.
okay? This was the battery incident where he put the battery in without the tray, and the battery moved and subsequently came out of the airplane in flight. And
So you said it needs a fuse and a wing.
Yep.
Isn't that the whole airplane?
Well,
Nice
you know,
tail section.
I guess.
well, the electronics are probably
the wing can be probably put back together. But a lot of my planes, if I've actually crashed them, I don't like trying to, basically Frankenstein them back together. I just
Why
buy
not?
new.
I
don't know.
Is
It
that
just-
foam or is that balsa?
It's foam.
Oh,
It's all foam.
okay. Well, yeah, that should be burnt anyway.
So
all right. So that's so that is the list of in the box and or airplanes that are waiting for final assembly or repairs. So that's basically 14, if I'm counting correctly.
Right. that's right.
All right. So next we move on to the list I care the most about. There's the ones that are ready to fly, like right now. You could stick a battery in them or fill them up with fuel, fire them up, and ready to take them flying. All right.
Right.
Okay. Here we go. Let's see. P51 BL Mustang. Was that
Correct.
brushless?
Yes.
Brushless. Okay. So
This,
that's an electric.
this is E-Flight or Park Zone.
Oh,
plane,
I'm
by
sorry.
the way.
Yes. Thank you. The E-Flight or Park Zone. It's quite a list. The SU-29 Sukhoi, F4F Wildcat, which you've always had a Wildcat.
That was
Like,
one of
I
my
think that
first
was one of
trainers.
your first airplanes, right?
Right.
Was the E-Flight Wildcat.
I'm
surprised you can still find parts for these things.
I actually bought that at Jason's shop. That's about one of the first few times when I met you. They had one hanging in there.
Yeah,
Well,
that
but
goes.
this one is not that one.
No, definitely
I was gonna say,
that's
okay,
probably
'cause
about
you've-
number 12 or
Because
15
you've had
somewhere in
several
there.
of them, but
No.
you've always had one.
Yeah,
And it's
always.
like obviously something that's very near and dear to you because you've always had one.
It was like an Achilles heel for a while. It's like I'd fly it and I'd get into it, and next thing you know, destroy it.
Yeah.
There was always just little things that would cause a crash.
I am going to conquer this thing.
That's exactly the
get it.
attitude I had.
Yeah, almost like a Jack in the Box sign, just popped up out of nowhere.
Exactly, Ron. Thank
See,
you. That
Ron
was
brought
probably
that up,
number
not
12 right there.
That was that plane though, right?
Yeah,
that's what I
That's
thought.
exactly what it was.
Yep.
That was the one truck stop, basically about 4 feet of grass, about maybe 8 feet long, and I thought I could nail it no problem. And the only thing I nailed was a Jack in the Box sign
You
about
nailed it.
You definitely nailed it.
about 1/10 of a mile away, about 200-300 feet up in the air.
1/10 of a mile away. So it was probably okay. So I'm going to say the Jack in the Box sign was probably honestly maybe 50 feet in the air, not 200 or 300 feet.
Oh, no, it's one of those big ones by
but
the highway.
I
It might
bet-
be 100.
I bet the distance though.
Oh yeah, he's
where it actually
definitely-
was away from him was probably closer to a half mile, if not more. Reggie flies far away. I mean,
That one, you have to remember, it's not that big. I had to still at least be able to see it.
It is a small airplane, and generally speaking, you fly to the point where you can just barely make it out.
Barely
So
make
that
it out.
that
And
was
it doesn't matter
I
how
mean,
big the
that's not
airplane
a
is.
joke. I actually will fly it that far away. It's not
Even your big
smart,
S Bach, like it will be,
you'll be
a mile out, and you'll be like, "Is that coming towards me or going away?" I can't tell. Let's guess.
I don't think it's that far away, but I can still
Somehow
make
or another,
that
I
out
feel
pretty
safer with him flying that far away.
good. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but
and
nobody
Dave
else.
in from the top rope with an elbow drop. Perfect.
Nobody in the houses over there do, but that's okay.
So anyway, no, I think that's awesome that you still have an F. Is this one's flat ready to go?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have you flown it yet?
I haven't flown it in a while.
In a while. You have flown it though.
Yeah, I still fly it, but I haven't done it in a
okay.
while.
I was just gonna say if he hadn't flown it, that's why it's still ready to go. But
Oh,
No, I
that's not
fly it
right.
once in
I
a great
know.
while. I mean, actually, there's a few on here. The kid that we were talking about earlier, as far as I gave that Telemaster to, I was actually going to give those to him.
Not the Wildcat.
why?
Yeah, the Wildcat, that
No.
BL Mustang,
You-
probably the P28.
You have to keep the Wildcat.
Well, I was going to keep the one with the retracts.
Oh, you got
You
more
have a
than one of
Wildcat
them?
with a retracts?
Yeah, I got another one that's got retracts on it.
Who makes that one?
Banana Hobby.
Do the retracts actually
They
like?
pop up.
No
Pop up
way.
on
The wings fold.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Folding
I'm
wing
gonna
Wildcat.
have to look. Like I don't like foamies, but I like the Wildcat too. So one with scale kind of retractable gear. I think that's awesome. Okay, moving on. So next is a T-28. Those could fly good too.
Oh, yeah.
Still E-flite. Carbon Z Cessna.
Yep.
The F-27 Striker, which I have one of those too. Those are fun to fly. The UMX, a Waco biplane, and then the UMX Aero Commander.
So is it Waco or Waco?
Well, it depends on my mood. So we have a UMX Citation.
Well, no, like seriously,
that
what?
fly? Oh, I'm
I'm sorry. Is it because I always say Waco, but I don't.
It's Waco.
It is Waco. Oh, well, I've been
Technically,
saying
I believe
it.
it's Waco.
I've been saying it
Weaver
wrong.
Aircraft Company.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Dave's like the quiet guy in the back that knows everything.
Everything.
And only chimes in when he feels like we have said something so stupid it needs to be corrected.
That's when off the top rope comes in.
We should hire him to like be here for every episode.
Maybe he should be our
correct
like
us.
technical guy.
He should. Yeah.
That's a good idea because I
That's
don't know
actually
anything.
A really good idea.
You could be here every weekend, Dave.
All right. So the UMX Citation. How's that fly? Does it fly
Awesome.
good? Does it? Okay.
Awesome. It's actually
Well,
got
most of
safe
the-
technology as well.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say most of the UMX stuff Dave mentioned it earlier when we were talking. The UMX stuff flies all good. So the Viper Jet EDF. Oh, the 70 millimeter, which you said you're upgrading.
I'm going to get the 90 millimeter eventually.
Battery.
Eventually.
I would say closer than
Farther.
I think. Yes.
Now, we'll go through this, but I want to circle back when you say battery. I want to talk about
yeah, we're getting to that.
your batteries and how many you have. And
Write it down so we don't forget.
I don't have a pen.
I'm actually
hand me that pen.
nervous on how many I actually have.
Thank you.
All right, so we got so the Viper, you're going to upgrade that. The T6 Texan, yep, and then you have a Pitts S1.
Yep.
You have an Apprentice, a P51 Mustang UMX. Those fly good. I've flown one of those. SU30, is that the blue and white one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, those are cool looking. That's a twin 70, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And then, so moving on up here, we have the F-15. I'm assuming that's still E-Flight because it's
Yes.
under the, okay. All right. And then you have FMS, the 1700 millimeter P-51. That's the smaller. The B-25, 1500 millimeter S-Bach. Have you flown that one much?
Yeah.
Because I think that was the one that I wanted and you bought. So moving on. I'm just
Thank you.
teasing. I'm just teasing. So free wing, the B-24. There's the B-24. Hobbyking B17. Is this a bigger one than the other one?
That's a bigger one.
Okay.
That flies awesome too.
That's why I'm terrible with millimeter. 1875 millimeter
I
is
think that's
what
about
in inches?
46 to 50 inches, I think.
Oh, it's more than that.
Oh, is it?
Because the
1,000's roughly 3 foot.
Okay.
Oh,
so
okay. So yeah, it's shy of, it's
I
5
just-
foot something.
I just went. Yeah. Okay. So it's less than 6 feet.
it goes about 78 inches, I thought.
No, that wouldn't be
70.
because 72 is
inches
6
is
feet.
6 feet. Yeah.
So if it's under that, maybe 64, 65.
You could always ask.
Alexa, how many inches are in 1875 millimeters?
1,875 millimeters is about 73.82 inches.
Oh, 73 inches. So that means what are we coming up with? Somebody Google that too.
That's
Well,
over 6
72
foot.
inches is 6 feet.
Well, I know, but that means Dave is wrong, and then he just lost his job.
He is no longer our technical advisor.
If 36 inches is 1,000 millimeters,
Yeah. A meter, which is 1,000 millimeters,
yeah.
is just over 3 feet.
Oh, just over 3 feet. Oh, yeah. So I guess that would end up being okay. You're back to being hired.
You're hired,
fine.
Dave.
You're back. You're back to our technical guy. I mean, everybody can make mistakes every now and then. You're actually.
I'm
actually doing it.
I'm curious now. What are we? 1875. Yeah, 73.8 inches.
Okay. Well,
That's a big B17.
that's pretty good size
It's
then.
decent size.
That's like over 6 feet.
Just barely.
Thanks, Ron.
So after all that, we've moving on. Hanger 9 Ultra Stick. Is this the big one that you got just
That I
recently?
just got, yes.
Big
That-
electric, right?
Yes.
Is that
What's
green and white or something?
Yellow and white.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
it's
said. That's
yellow.
what I meant.
Okay.
Yellow and white.
Yes, yellow and white.
I thought there was green on it.
There's
There's
a green
another one. There's a green white one too.
Maybe that's what I'm
That's
thinking
the
of. So that's
30
not the one.
cc size, right?
It's a 30cc.
Yeah.
Motor
Or
wise,
really big electric.
It actually runs off of a E-Flight 50 size motor.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll call
You're the
it.
electrical guy. You should know.
I don't do that. I mean, like the big stuff
I
in that.
don't
I don't
do
know. I
that.
don't do that. No, I don't. I'm not sure.
And then we got the Hanger 9 60 size P51. Now these are all airplanes that are ready to fly, by the way. So we're on 36 already.
Yep.
So Great Plains Escapade, that's the 60 size version. The Avastar, which is you have 30cc. I didn't know they made a big 30cc Avastar. That's awesome.
Yes.
A big good trainer.
Dave's worked on that twice.
Good trainer. Sig Cadet Senior Sport, and then
The S-Bach, the Pilot S-Bach, 36%.
Pilot. I did that earlier. Yeah,
You did.
because I didn't keep reading. Yeah. So this is the one that I built for you.
Yes, correctly.
It's been 8 years ago.
Way back when.
Park Zone Cub, and then Banana Hobby F4 F Wildcat with the retracts.
Exactly.
I got to see that one. And then you have a Vapor and a Night Vapor,
Correct.
and then you moved 45 over to the broken column, and then we have one that
The Great Plains Super Stearman.
yeah. So that's Reggie's list. It's pretty comprehensive. Like I said, you cover pretty much every aspect except World War One era
World War One.
or the pioneering era.
I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just not. They don't do much for me. I like them. Don't get me wrong.
I think they're
They look
beautiful.
very complicated.
That's Dave's thing. Dave does a really good job with them.
I saw the one he
And he
just
flies them well too. Dave's let me
Yes.
try to fly his World War One stuff before, and it was ugly.
that bad.
Oh, that was awful. There's definitely a technique, right?
Once they're airborne, they're fine. They're just like a trainer.
Yep. It's like I have to have Dave take it off for me so I can fly it. Like ground handling, they definitely there's definitely a technique that
They can be a handful.
that I'm might be one reason why my Camel is taking forever to build.
You just are
I'm
afraid.
just scared to death to take it off.
After all that work, I can
I
see
don't blame
why.
you. Yeah.
Because none of those look just simply like they're going to go together to me.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mine will definitely be a one piecer. Like when it's together, it will have so many wires and things. And it's not a very big
There's
airplane
wires
anyway.
and cables everywhere.
Yeah. And
You
mine
don't
will,
have to undo that.
mine will stay together once it's together.
I will
So,
say, when I went by Dave's the other day and saw the one he had built, which I cannot think of the name of that for the
There's
last
the
one.
right flyer.
Yeah.
the right flyer.
He made it look so simple, but yet so complicated all in one
Dave
motion.
has a way of doing that.
It was gorgeous. Even the cart that it will fly off of.
Oh, did you get the launch mechanism done?
I built a cart, yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. Last time
Yeah,
we
'cause
talked
we
about
talked
it, you
about
hadn't
that.
done that yet.
Yeah,
minute.
I went out to the garage and cut up some plywood.
One that we had Dave out here, and now you got it built already?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I will admit I haven't stained it or finished it. I want to make sure it works
whoa,
right
geez.
before we do the
That's
staining
awesome.
and
Cart before
polyurethane.
the before the four. Wow. Put the cart before the horse. Yeah.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
I understand that, but wow.
That's awesome.
Somebody's
So-
been busy.
Yeah. Busier than, like, I managed to install some servos since the last time we talked
And then you had to take them out because they were bad.
because they were terrible. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good list. So if you get to go to Toledo,
Right.
and this is actually a question for both of you, anything particular you guys are going to be looking for, or is your list, shall I bring it up again, like Ron's list? Just whatever you can
For
find.
me, I think 20 to 35 cc motors
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm kind of looking for. I guess just any parts that kind of ring a bell that I may need.
What happens? Okay, let's say you're at the swap meet and somebody's got a brand new in box E-Flight F4F Wildcat. Do you buy it?
No.
Really?
Wow.
I am going to probably stick to my guns on buying planes. I've got no choice. I mean, just to bring it home and do what? There's nowhere to put it.
I can always take your old ones off your hands.
I'm sure you could.
Ron is always willing to take your unwanted airplanes. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Just it. They're all wanted. The only ones
Yeah.
I'm giving away is just because I know this kid's just getting started and to help him out.
Well, so am I.
Which I think
And
that's awesome.
Less chances of me stepping over it or stepping into it or falling over it or something.
True. Yeah.
So
There does come a point when you have to be able to move about in your airplane room. And you're
Yeah.
getting to the point where,
I actually just cleared some of that out.
did you?
Because there was an actual biplane on the list I had just sold.
You
And,
sold a biplane?
I did.
Did you sell it to Bob?
I did.
How did I know? Like, how did I know that?
So
Bob is like really into biplanes right now, which I love because I'm a huge biplane guy
he
too.
told me his count. I can't remember what it was. I thought he was up on 15 or 20 biplanes or
Yeah,
something, or maybe
it's
more.
up
Oh
there.
my god. Well, I think he's going to be next, so let's not give away his
No,
number.
no, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
You're not
I don't
gonna
know
get his
his-
number.
He said he was making a list already.
He's still trying to figure out how many he's got.
Oh, well, he's got some time.
He has a warehouse.
He's got two warehouses, doesn't he?
And a basement,
Kind of,
and
yeah.
a room, and another room.
Yes, yeah. Well, without
You know
giving
the show on
without
TV
giving
called
away
Hoarders?
too much, he has
Airplane
has at
hoarders,
least
it's okay.
3 large locations in which to store stuff.
Okay,
So
let's not give it away. Well,
yeah,
let's
I'm
save
really
that for
super
next
excited
time. That'll be
to
that'll
talk
be
to
a lot
Bob
of
and
fun.
have him on the show too. I'm glad he agreed to do it. So
Yeah.
So batteries. You wanted to
Yeah, let's go back to
You wanted to come
batteries.
back to batteries.
How many batteries do you have? Do you have any
boy.
idea?
I have no idea.
That should be another topic. We should
I
do
should
a
have
number
probably.
for that.
I was
Yeah.
actually thinking of that, but
Mine's really
I have
low.
no idea. I can tell you, I've got. It's either 5 or 6 lipo battery bags full of batteries, and some of the batteries are still not in those.
I have
That's
250 caliber ammo cans.
Filled, I'm sure.
There's space in there for smaller ones.
Man.
That's
So-
a lot of batteries.
Like we had talked about before, I actually just went through and got rid of a lot of my old ones. I disposed of 36 batteries. They were just they were just older ones I didn't trust, didn't need, didn't want, and well, I shouldn't say want, but
And they weren't
they were just
performing.
not
Yeah,
good
just-
batteries anymore.
yeah.
That's why I didn't need them, because I would not feel safe flying with them. So I am down to like 16 or 17 regular
Which
flyable
is
batteries now, which
Twice as many batteries, I think, that I have.
well, you're nitro, so I'm not surprised.
I can't remember if I got 13 to 15 6-cell batteries. in
Yeah,
there.
Just
I have
6
I have
cells.
0
Just
6
6
cells.
cells.
Holy
Yeah.
moly.
13 to 15 6-cell batteries.
What's the most you spent on a battery?
About $150
On one battery?
on one battery. But see, that's actually not bad. If you look at some of the
Oh, that's
battery
not bad?
pricing, Look at some of the battery pricings on some of these batteries. I mean, they're hitting $200-$300 per battery. One battery.
See, that negates the savings of not using nitro, in my opinion. Like,
Or gas at that point.
Or gas at that
when you're
opinion.
talking about the size of battery he's talking about.
you can, in my opinion, you can overdo the electric side of things where it's too much of an electric motor, where you're better off going with gas.
Yeah, but
Right.
for some folks, it's still the convenience.
True. But for the cost
gas,
of it, though.
even gas, you still have to tune them. Even occasionally, you have to tune them.
Yeah.
And you still have to go through the starting process and carry around an ignition battery. No, I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not my thing, but I can totally understand why somebody would choose to spend $150 on a battery as opposed to $400 on a DLE 50 or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Which, by the way, I'm going to the show. I need to find a 50cc motor too. I just thought of that
For what?
for that biplane.
Oh, for your, what was that, chip hide or whatever it
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
Look at me go. I remember that one.
Yeah. Did that make it on my list?
I don't
Can't
know.
remember.
I don't. Yeah, double vision. I think
That
it did.
it's on there. So anyway, 25 to 30cc motors. What else at the show or a swap meet? Batteries.
You know, if there's actually some good batteries there, I might. I mean, I've always bought brand name batteries. I actually had called Ron not too long ago about asking about Turnigy batteries. I've never dealt with them.
I've had Turnigy before. That's Hobbyking.
We've had pretty good luck with them, Dave.
My Turnigies have been fabulous. I've never had any problem with them.
And I just,
Reggie's big into name brands on things. Like, he will not go cheap on things that I will absolutely go cheap on. Like motors and stuff for the like smaller electrics, he will always replace with E-Flight or something like that, where I have no problem using the Amazon brand or
definitely.
whatever is available.
I try to get basically, like you said, Spectrum, E-Flight, Rimfire.
Well, I'm starting to rethink that too after our last Amazon experience.
Well, that's servos though. Like, we've
Right.
never done anything with servos before. Cheap servos. I've always used name brands on those.
Well, the little 9 gram, little for the little electric guys. Okay, fine. But
Yeah.
anything more than that, I don't think I'm going to take the chance again.
Because usually the smaller planes we put those in are cheap. I don't want to say throwaway, but okay to crash airplanes. So that's why I'm okay with that in those. But we'll see. I don't know.
About you, Dave?
Really not looking to buy much of anything. I am maxed out.
Well, I mean, you never really know, right? Like when you go to a swap
Yes.
meet, you never really know until it jumps out at you like, I got to have whatever that is.
Which is the last part of my list. Anything
I can find.
I can
Yeah,
find.
that's,
But that makes
I
it
picked
seem
up
like-
that little seaplane, that little flying boat seaplane. It was on a whim on the way out the door. It's like, well, that's kind of cool. I didn't see that first time through. Picked it up, and it sat in my closet for 2 years.
But sometimes those are the best ones because you don't know what
Oh,
you're
it
getting.
flies great.
And it's exciting. Mm-hmm. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, poor Reggie.
Starting to work off.
All right. Well,
okay.
anything else? Should we cut this off then? I don't want to.
I think I'm good for the moment.
You sure?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What are some of the worst places you've flown?
Ugh. There's so many. There's so many.
Dave is cringing.
Can I leave now?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Oh, Walmarts, truck stops. There's been a few job sites. Oh, rest areas along the interstate.
Along the interstate.
Along,
dear.
I mean,
By
in
the interstate, that's-
in the rest area.
It's right off the highway.
Do we need to explain that Reggie's a truck driver?
Hopefully
I guess,
our listeners know, but yeah,
We've
we've
hit
had
on
him
that
on before, and yeah, Reggie is a professional transportation specialist.
And probably a few get off ramps. Where I've actually pulled
Off-ramps?
off, just pulled off to the side, and then I've killed some time. I just literally off and on the ramp landing.
That's
On the
right
interstate.
off the highway because it's off ramp. It's right off. That's like a big no.
I am not proud of it, but I will own it. When the flying bug bit me, 12? How long have we been flying? I never did ever get that right.
2000. Go on.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say 2012 was
That's
when
what
I
I was
bought my
gonna say.
first one. So.
I was gonna say it was shortly
So
before.
about
10
10
years.
years then.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just a fanatic. I would fly anywhere and everywhere. I mean, it just did not matter, to be honest
True.
with you. And of course, the more I got into it, the more I got to know people. And of course, I got the grilling and whatnot about where I'm flying. And
But it never stuck.
Oh, it did. I mean, it slowed down.
It stuck when he learned a lesson. Then he would combine the two, the lesson that he learned from wherever he crashed, plus the ribbing he got from all of us. Then the lesson would stick, and maybe he would make the change.
Yes, I'll go with that.
I don't know about that.
No?
Well, he still does it. So
He doesn't fly at rest stops anymore.
No, definitely
See?
Oh, okay.
He doesn't fly
matter
at
of
the
fact,
off-ramps anymore.
The churches that I'm actually allowed to fly at
Yeah.
is about the only places along with the flying field that I fly anymore.
Okay.
I stopped taking them in the trucks. I don't.
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't know
you don't? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you still took them with you.
No, it was getting
Too
them in and
tempting.
out was starting to destroy the planes,
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
and the risk was just getting to be too much for me. So
Oh, good.
Well, good. I'm
I'm happy
very
to hear that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Way to go, Reggie.
And so
Thank you.
when we talk about the church, I'm familiar with the church, and it is a huge space. Like their parking lot is humongous.
Mm-hmm.
So when done correctly, I don't fault you for flying.
we
there.
have our own little landing approach. We made sure we don't fly over the power lines, roads, buildings, anything. I mean, just nothing. We just keep a nice little stretch and we enjoy it. Church 2 actually has a massive field that we fly out over.
Church 2.
Well, Church 1 is
That's the one over by his the apartment building.
yes,
Okay. What's Church 2?
over where the big mountain is by Centennial Park.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, we could fly, if you remember right, we actually could fly the electrics over in that little triangled area for a while, but they put a bunch of
but
trees
then they
up.
put the trees, yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, it wasn't because of that. It's
No.
park stuff.
So we just
Anyway.
stayed at the church, made sure we had permission, and that's pretty much where we fly it now.
Now,
What about you, Ron?
what about me? What?
Worst places you've flown?
Oh, I only fly like literally. What's the?
I'm just waiting.
I fly at the field and I fly at home. Is there some place I don't remember?
No, I guess that's pretty much it.
No, I do remember somebody flying an airplane out here
Wow.
off of the
I remember that.
off of the highway.
Wasn't it a nitro plane at that? Underneath
sure
power
was.
lines
Gas.
on the highway?
It was gas powered.
Oh, it was gas.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for correcting me. I'm sorry.
Gas, yeah.
It was a gas powered biplane
It was.
that somebody, not me.
Kind of a blind curve, even, if I remember right. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's kind of a blind. You can't see around that curve down the way here, so.
Well, I
No.
didn't fly it like you fly airplanes. I kept it close to me.
It's true, but there's still a blind curve
So
right
yes, I flew it off of the road right out in front of your house. I'm not proud of that. And that's
you
the
did it
only
well.
time I've done that.
Really?
Only time ever.
there.
That's
That was
amazing.
actually encouraging for
True,
me.
true story.
Oh, that told you it was okay to do stuff
I
like
thought
that?
that was awesome. That's what made me want to do it.
Yeah, he went under the power lines. He went, threaded the needle through the tree line on both sides of the interstate, or not interstate, but the highway.
These guys might be overestimating my skill, but yeah.
Did you hit anything?
No. And
So you
landed
did it- you
perfectly.
did a
But you're
good
making
job.
it sound like it's this narrow.
Greased
It's like it's very, very
coming in.
wide open.
It's not all that wide. I don't think it's. What do you think? From my tree on one side to the trees across the street, 100 feet, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. You were.
We were
I mean,
watching
you were,
for traffic.
We had
remember
somebody
that.
stand out in the middle of the road. What's the matter?
There was everything but a
Who's the
flagman out
fool?
there.
The fool or the fool who follows him? Who's the fool? That's what I'm saying.
The fool that.
But anyway,
followed.
that's-
I've not done that, so I haven't followed.
Well, you
I
followed
was the
along.
following
you,
fool.
You
I actually followed
facilitated,
you.
right?
That was my birthday, though. I appreciate that. That
was
made it
actually
very
awesome.
memorable. That would have been 2013, my birthday, when everybody came out for
Has
that.
it been that? That was. I guess it was that long. Man, that was a long time ago.
That actually is surprising, but yeah,
You
it would have
still
been.
have
9
that plane, don't you, or no?
I don't. I got
got it
rid of
now?
it, and it's Tommy's now.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
I gave
Yeah.
Ron all of my electric stuff, and he gave me all of his nitro stuff. And
Wow.
gas. Well, not all of
Not
your
all
gas,
of it, but
most of it.
And I didn't get all your electric either, but that's okay. I mean, it wasn't like
Pretty-
a straight up everything.
Well, I'm
for
not going to
everything.
give you the planes that Dave gave me. No.
Well, you have the Striker. You have.
Well, do you want the Striker? I'll be happy to give it to you.
I don't. I mean, I'm not going to say no to another one, but I'm just saying, like, I still have the fun one that's nitro, so I didn't give you all my nitro.
Oh, well, true. That's
and
true.
you still have some electric ones.
That's true.
That's all I was saying. Don't get all defensive.
Well, I have. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the only time I've ever done that. Like, I've never flown off of a road before or
Yeah.
since.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
I can't say that. I mean,
don't do that. If you're listening at home, don't do that. There. Does that make it better? I don't know.
I
Probably not.
I had fun. So
You know what? That was so long ago, and lessons have been learned since then, and still are being learned. So definitely can say things have gotten a lot better, more responsible.
Yeah.
Why
Dave,
is
you're
that
being
in air
awfully
quotes?
quiet over there.
I flew off of Chatham Road.
Oh my gosh,
Chatham
That's an
Road.
actual like main road.
Wait a minute.
Early
Chad-
90s.
You know what?
Now, it's not as bad as it sounds.
I'm all ears, Dave.
They took and restructured it, and Chatham Road was cut off.
Yeah.
Do you guys know where that make the curve to go to Menards now? Mm-hmm. Friends of ours were renting a house that was back there, and their driveway literally became Chatham Road.
Yeah.
So I flew off their driveway, which
Okay,
previously had been Chatham Road.
That's kind of a
That's-
technicality, but
that is a technicality.
It was in the
but
country at that point. It's on the very south end of Chatham Road.
You
that's
got
the,
us,
and that's
you
the
got
worst
us.
place you've flown.
Yeah, it's the worst place I've ever flown.
I'd say that's. I mean, that's
See,
You've
Dave-
actually brought back
pretty okay, I would
memories
say.
for me now, to be
Uh-oh.
honest with you. Because you know where you go over the overpass to go toward Knights Action Park off of MacArthur Boulevard, the new
yeah.
that curve right there. I've flown right there off that curve before. That was with nitro planes.
Oh my god.
I've flown off of Menards
Wait a
parking
minute.
lot.
Wait a minute. Off the frontage road?
Yeah,
I
just
can't-
like you come over the
No, I
overpass.
know exactly what
and
you're
that curve
talking
there
about.
that comes
Yes.
right back around.
The one that's 15 away from the or 15 feet away from the interstate.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the AMA coverage for Reggie has now just been negated.
Oh,
I've flown
But
off
he
of,
doesn't do that anymore.
No,
so-
no, this was all in the beginning.
yeah. This was all good 4 or 5 months ago.
I would go more like 9-10 years ago, but
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I've had 2 nitro planes off of that. I was flying off of Menards' parking lot, the new Menards. Of course, that was in the early hours before too much traffic got in there.
So the area that Reggie is
has
talking
to be
about
light out.
is kind of the west side of Springfield, and it's always busy. Like there's stuff going on.
This was the question on where the worst places you've been flown,
That's
correct?
okay.
I'm
It is.
telling you.
He's
That's-
telling us.
We're
I
having
mean, I'm being
honest.
honest here.
We're having truth time.
You said Chatham Road. When Jason had his old shop over there on Chatham Road with the green sign, I've flown right there off of Chatham Road. I've flown over in the field beside
well,
the.
I've-
You know, that used to be an airport.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I actually had the map for that.
So I don't consider that a bad place to fly. I've flown there before.
That's where Charles Lindbergh flew out of.
Yeah. Yeah.
and when
That's
it used to be
actually not
Hobby
that bad.
Mart on Dirksen Parkway,
Yeah.
I've flown right there off of Dirksen Parkway.
Off Dirksen Parkway.
Literally just 2 steps off the highway and flew across the field, back and forth.
You know, a place I fly
We
that
asked
scares
for
me more
this.
than anything, and it's a legal field, is in Mount Vernon. They fly
Oh, yeah.
at that Ina College or Ina College, whatever they want to call it,
Oh yeah.
literally across
It's-
the highway from Big Muddy Federal Prison.
A prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Federal. Like
Wow,
we're pretty
that would be
sure
bad.
that if they wanted to, the prison guards could take pot shots at our airplanes.
Yeah, that place scares me more than anything
That's
because you got
where-
the highway
And the prison.
and the prison.
Yeah. I mean, like you can see it. Have you not been to that one, Reggie?
No.
Oh, it's a good time.
It's
Yeah, you'll have to, like, if we get to go again, if they have it again, thanks to COVID. But
Yeah, it's been
you should
several
go.
years since
It's a warbird.
I've been.
Well, it's kind of a warbird flying, but you can pretty much fly whatever you bring. I took the P-40 there, and you had you obviously had the World War I stuff. I thought you had something else there too.
I had my P-40 there.
P-40, that's
I
right.
had my F-15 jet there.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up crashing it. That was last time I flew there. Is I crashed it.
Is that the one I tried to hand launch and crashed?
No, this is the my big 90 millimeter free wing. I
I
had an
remember
elevator
that one.
servo or stabulator servo go bad, and
Ouch.
What
yeah,
airplane-
it needs both of them to fly.
So, which airplane and where did it happen? Was the one that I flew into the guy's butt?
That's
a story I haven't heard
was
I haven't heard that one either.
that was the F-14,
Wow.
I knew it. Well, right.
and it was the Park Flyer, and it was we were up north somewhere, and I can't. Was it Peoria? It was one of the northern fly-ins, but
Just north of Peoria by Chillicothe or something like that.
Chillicothe. I think it was up by Chillicothe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Big
happened?
guy.
What happened?
big guy.
happened to that?
So there was no
So
missing.
Dave let me fly his F-14, and this I believe I had flown it once before. I
Yeah,
think.
and it's real. It's
And
a
it's
pusher
super,
foamy.
Yeah, it's a super easy plane to fly, and I I think I was up too long with it, and I didn't have enough power to go around.
I think that was
I think is what happened. And instead of
and no rudders, and it was a crosswind.
right, exactly. So it's an airplane that has no rudders, and there was a crosswind. So it drifted off the runway into the pits and bounced off of a guy's butt.
Nice.
That's exactly what happened.
He was so big, he probably didn't notice it.
And the guy kind of turned around, looked at it, and kind of shrugged his shoulders like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
But it was like full stall. I mean, it had to be going, what, 5 mile an hour maybe?
If that. I mean, it comes into a crawl.
It just went, blink.
Probably saved the plane that way.
I'm not proud of it, but I thought it was pretty funny.
That is hilarious.
And I don't think I've flown one of Dave's planes since.
The Excalibur, but
Oh, yeah, I crashed that one too. Yeah.
All the stories are coming out now, Mr. I Don't Crash.
I don't crash.
to be fair
my
to Tommy,
planes.
I previously crashed the Excalibur, and the wing may or may not have been totally straight.
Good times.
So what'd you do on that one?
I don't remember.
It just went down out in the corn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think same thing.
It developed a very vicious tip stall, and that's why I kind of believe the wing may have not been totally straight.
Yeah. And it was, and I think it's a battery powered soarer. Would you
They call it a
soarer?
warm liner. I mean, it's a brutal fast airplane with the throttles on, but then you chop the throttle and it's a glider.
Yeah. Actually flies nice.
It did.
When it doesn't, if you don't get it too slow. But yeah, I let it get too far away, and I think the battery again, I think I had probably flown a little too long and not enough power to go around, and
That brings up another story.
in the corn it went. I'm listening.
In Texas, at a truck stop, the Wildcat, to be honest.
That poor plane.
I flew it too far away.
No.
It happens. And flew
Really?
it too long, had a light wind, and I could tell the battery was dying, but it was out over the interstate.
Oh.
I could barely see it,
Oh no.
and
Oh, I remember this story. Yeah.
it was coming in, and I ended up landing it. I mean, I was kind of trying to run to it to make sure I could maybe get close, try to catch it or something, and ended up landing it in a parking lot with people parking. It actually slid right down the center of the parking lot. I quit after that.
For the day.
For the day, yes.
Yeah, I was going to
correct.
say, obviously
For
not.
the day, but that one actually had me scared because it was out over on the other side of the interstate trying to make it back, and it was slowly coming down.
Wouldn't all of them have you scared?
No, not normally. That one actually had me scared because I didn't know what was going to happen. But it made it clear back to the truck stop
Wow.
under hardly any power, and it literally belly landed across the parking lot amongst all the cars that were over there.
And managed to miss every single one.
I missed every single one. That was
That's
a
lucky.
nice sign of relief.
Yeah. All right. Well, we could talk about crashing all night long, but this is getting to be a pretty long episode.
Yeah, I'm ready to call it quits. Everybody else good?
We're good.
All right. Well,
Sweet.
thank
Guys,
you.
thanks for joining us. It's always a good time to have guests on, and especially when we can have two at once. That was awesome.
That's what I was going to say. Thanks both of you for coming. And until next time, I'm Ron.
I'm Tom.
I'm Reggie.
Dave.
We'll see you later.
All right. Good night.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the RC Plane Lab podcast. For topic suggestions, to ask questions, or to give any feedback, connect with us at rcplanelab.com or email us direct at either ron@rcplanelab.com or tom@rcplanelab.com. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail at 818-351-9846. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, may your landings be gentle.
Get a gentle lady or something along that line with a power pod on it with a Cox 049.
Okay.
All right. And so we know from our experience, the Cox 049s, notoriously difficult to get started. And if you get them to run, they don't run very long, blah, blah, blah. Well, he got it going, tossed his glider.
And of course, it dies as soon as he lets go.
No, forgets to turn the receiver on.
Oh,
Wow.
Best motor run ever. Last we saw, it was out over Riverton
Oh my gosh.
and still going. Never have found it.
It's in somebody's garage
But
somewhere.
the airplane was perfectly trimmed. Best motor run ever.
Those don't have very much fuel, though, do they?
It's 1 ounce.
Well, I mean, a Cox, if you can get it to run on 1 ounce of fuel, it'll go 5-10 minutes.
10 minutes easy, yeah. And then it was a glider, and of
But
course,
the problem was you could never get them to run that good.
yeah, they'd run for 2-3 minutes, maybe.
Maybe. Best run ever. That's funny. Of course it was.
I
mean,
forgot
why
about
wouldn't
that
it be?
Riverton
And of course, the
thing.
airplane was perfectly trimmed.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
I forgot I was flying the Escapade over
Forgot
there.
to turn
by
the
bridge.
receiver on.
That's good by the bridge.
Yeah, when I was working at Riverton, I was flying the Escapade over off that road there.
Oh, the one
By
that
the
goes over
bridge.
the
I was talking
interstate.
about. Yeah, by the
That's
interstate.
Overpass Road.
Yeah.
Overpass Road. I was flying off that road, right down the street from where the old flying field was.
That's where they're putting the new.
You were flying
gas
it off
station
the
in, right?
bridge?
I was flying it off the road in front of the bridge, by XPO and all that. That's the one that the servo and the elevator went bad. I was coming back down, and I ended up burying it across a cornfield. That actually looked like an actual plane crash. There was flying up everywhere.
Those are the best.
It was a plane.
Like, if you're going to make
It was, but it looked
if you're
more
gonna
real
crash-
than anything.
Crash, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Same airplane, same guy. Started it, threw it, came right back at him. Motor was running backwards.
Oh, that'd been cool.
And
That
they
is-
Coxes would do that too.
They'll run as well backwards as they'll run forward. They're 0 time.
God, I hate those things.
How do you get away from it? Just
Well,
dive?
spring starter will usually get them going the right direction, but
No. How did he get away from us?
oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just
Dove out of the way.
duck. Well, they don't fly real well in reverse.
They usually
I kind of thought when he threw it, it would have just
Yeah,
fell.
it went out about 10 or 15 foot, slowed way down, and
started coming back
Back.
at him. I would shit my pants if that happened to me. If an airplane started coming right back at me, because that's scary. Like if you're in
I
the
wouldn't know
pit
what
and
to
somebody
do.
doesn't have control of it, and you see it coming at you, like, because you don't know which way to go, because
Nope.
you don't know which way the airplane's going. I just usually freeze in terror. That's my.
so
That's your
it was
go-to?
probably a good thing it flew away.
That was fun.
It was a good time.
Yeah.